Today in crypto, yeah, Bitcoin is testing $9,400 again, but Bitcoin has got a massive problem moving into the next bull run, a problem which is likely to send altcoins soaring and to bring in another altcoin season that will indeed make many people sick gains. The Crypto Lark. This is where you subscribe for all of the hottest and all of the latest happening out there in the wild, wild land of crypto. So before we jump into all the charts and the reasons for all these different things happening with Bitcoin moving forward, there are two crazy deals going on right now that I want to discuss with you. Now, usually I try not to shill two referral links in one video, but these are both very limited time offers, and I want you to not miss out on these deals if you do want to get involved. Of course, now if you don't want to hear about these awesome offers, then just skip a little forward in the video to get on to the charts section of today's conversation. So, the first deal is that Ledger is having a huge sale on their Nano S devices. So you can get 50% off. Wowzers. If you have been on the fence about getting yourself a hardware wallet to secure your Bitcoin and to control your private keys, now is the time to do it. 50% off is a smoking hot deal. This offer is valid until the 17th and is only for the Nano S. This thing is a workhorse of the Ledger series. Not as fancy as the Nano X, but certainly a dependable device and a great place for storing your Bitcoin. Now, the second offer is from BlockFi. BlockFi is giving away $100 in free Bitcoin. $100 of free Bitcoin. It's crazy. Here is how it works. Step 1, register for an account on BlockFi. Now, this is only valid for new signups. Step 2, deposit $200 or more in crypto by May 14th, midnight UTC time, so only a few hours away from now. And step 3, maintain that balance until July 30th. If you do these three simple things, then you'll get $100 in free Bitcoin paid out in your August interest payment. Plus, of course, you'll earn 6% APR on your Bitcoin while it is sitting over there in your interest account. Or if you deposit stable coins, you'll earn 8.6% APR on your stable coins, or if you decide to put in Ethereum, you will earn 4.5% APR on your Ethereum. In the description of this video and on the pinned comment of this video, you will find links for both of these offers and the promotional codes if you are asked for it on the website. But act fast because these deals won't last for long. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the charts to get started off with today. Bitcoin has just put in a very nice green candle on the daily, and it is making that bounce off of the 200-day moving average look like it is indeed going to be something very strong. Of course, that is a technically bullish move, breaking out, coming back down to retest support, and then breaking out again. That could push us up for a retest of $10,000 sooner than a lot of people think. Also, we are seeing some very nice bullish action on these shorter time frames with a strong MACD crossover playing out on the 4-hour, indicating that there is still lots of room for the price to run higher in the short term. Now, maybe we'll finally break out of this downtrend that we've been seeing forming up in the daily for a long time. The halving pump gave us a failed break out above that line, but maybe this time we can actually break out for real. Again, testing this is a critical move. It's kind of crazy, really. Right now, we have a lot of lines of support and resistance kind of closing in on each other around these particular price levels where we find Bitcoin at right now. Something big is brewing for the price of Bitcoin. But disregarding for a moment the daily and the weekly downtrend lines we've been talking about a lot here, $10,000, it's really the number to beat for Bitcoin. I think that this is the level where we start to see the herd of institutional and retail investors that are starting to come in turn into a stampede, and that's of course when we get the big bull run happening. You can see that in the last year we've only spent a few weeks above the $10,000 mark, so psychologically it's very, very important. And I remain confident that we will break and hold above this level. The only question is how long it's going to take to really make that strong move. And the simple fact is that Bitcoin, it has had such a strong surge since the crash. It underlines how strong the markets are for crypto. But that being said, there are a few big problems for Bitcoin that will actually be good news for the altcoin markets. Bitcoin dominance, so the Bitcoin dominance uptrend in particular, really broke back in January. The short-term surge that we've seen recently really is only thanks to the halving and the interest in Bitcoin around the halving. So what does a lower Bitcoin dominance actually mean? Well, it means more room for altcoins to make incredible, sick gains. Obviously. Now, in spite of that short upsurge due to the halving, I think that Bitcoin dominance is probably going to continue to fall throughout 2020 because except price go up, Bitcoin really has nothing significant on the calendar for another 4 years. I mean, it just keeps on Bitcoining. And hey, yeah, sure, maybe one day we're going to get Schnorr signatures, but that's not going to be anything revolutionary for Bitcoin. And to be clear, the dominance for Bitcoin can fall and the price of Bitcoin can rise. In January 2018, the dominance of Bitcoin was 35%, which is almost half of what it is now, but the price of Bitcoin was $14,000. It just shows that more money will be flowing into altcoins. Now, does that mean that Bitcoin will no longer be the king of the markets? No, Bitcoin will be the king of the crypto markets. Bitcoin is the world's first money with a truly fixed supply. It is a digital pioneer of monetary disruption. It's insanely secure. It remains highly decentralized and has an incredible infrastructure built around it and very, very deep liquidity. Bitcoin is going to continue wearing that crown for the foreseeable future. But all that being said, the bull market will bring increased attention to altcoins. Now, partially, this is due for psychological reasons. When the market is gripped by fear, what do people do? They go back into Bitcoin or they go into cash and they get out of their incredibly speculative altcoin positions. But when the markets are booming, what do investors do? They seek out overnight riches in the altcoin casino. Now, here is something very interesting from Coinbase, a little bit of data that they put out. Among customers with at least 5 purchases on Coinbase, 60% start with Bitcoin, but just 24% stick exclusively to Bitcoin. In total, over 75% eventually buy other assets, meaning that all of these people who just crowded into Bitcoin over the last 6 weeks, if they haven't already, they will soon start diversifying into altcoins. Bitcoin's just the gateway drug, man. It's the top of the funnel, bringing people into crypto. But investors, they soon start to seek out more gains and more use cases. Once you start seeing altcoins pump by 50%, you think, well, that 5% from Bitcoin seems kind of modest. And besides, of course, just the sick gains and the increased utility from altcoins, a bull run will also mean higher Bitcoin fees, possibly way higher. You see, Bitcoin transaction fees, they're already spiking again. The average fee right now is almost $3 to get a transaction into the next block. Digital gold, nice. Digital currency, bit shakier on that one. Maybe we just need to give up on the idea of Bitcoin being a day-to-day peer-to-peer currency. I mean, you can use it like that, but it's not going to be useful for a lot of people. Maybe we should just look on it as digital hard money, digital gold, store of value kind of stuff. Anyway, we have a wave of new investors coming into the markets. The price will rise in the coming months, in the coming years, and Bitcoin has technologically almost done nothing to evolve since the last bull run. It's not a bad thing, it's just the reality of what Bitcoin is. It's the slow golden tank. Sure, we have more implementation of SegWit, which does lower fees by an extent, but in reality, SegWit implementation was painfully slow, and it actually did little more than just kick the can down the road, so it's still a problem, just a delayed problem. But if the average fee is $3 right now, we haven't even started seeing the insane price rallies yet, then you have to keep it real that there is a very, very high chance that fees will spike super hard in the coming couple of years. In 2017, we saw fees as high as $70 or $80 to send a Bitcoin transaction. But even $3 is ridiculous, man. If we want Bitcoin to be the people's money, then we're excluding about, I don't know, half the world's population. A huge amount of people are going to find it completely impractical to use Bitcoin if it costs $3 to send a transaction. As of today, there are at least 750 million people living on $1.90 a day. If we extend that out to people who might, for example, make $10 a day, which is common enough in a lot of the world's developing countries, then we're talking about billions of people here who either are going to see a Bitcoin fee be worth more than their daily wages, or we're expecting them to pay, 30% of their daily salary just to send money to the merchant or whoever else they're trying to send money to pay for their groceries or something like that? Not going to happen. The harsh truth is that right now, Bitcoin is not well suited to serve billions of people around the world. The transaction fees alone exclude probably half of the world's population from being able to use Bitcoin in any really practical way. Yes, of course, we have the Lightning Network, which will at some point in the future do something to improve speed and, of course, bring in cheaper fees, but it's a layer 2 solution. I'm not saying that, the banks are some great alternative either. You guys know my position on banks. Banks are a total mess. International bank transfer fees are obscene. The remittance industry is just disgusting. It preys on the most vulnerable people in society and just rapes them with fees. And even domestically, banks often charge you for withdrawing your cash or having too little money or having too much money. It's crazy. Fees are their big innovation. But if the fees for Bitcoin are already $3 and the bull run hasn't even started yet, then expect Bitcoin fees to surge as the retail tsunami comes in over the next 12 to 24 months. And I'm not bringing this up to bash Bitcoin, so please don't think that. It is what it is, man. It's Bitcoin. Bitcoin is digital gold. And if it costs me $10 or $20 to move a few $1,000s around, to send some Bitcoin to an exchange or to bring it off an exchange, not a big deal for me, personally. But fees over $10 can and will be a big deal for a lot of people. One thing I can tell you is this: Bitcoin has nailed down digital scarcity. Bitcoin has nailed down the digital store of value. Hands down. But it has not nailed down the peer-to-peer currency niche. The market remains wide open for this. The success and adoption of the Lightning Network, in my opinion, is very far from certain. Competitors like Dash and Digibyte and XRP, they are all able to transfer value peer-to-peer for fractions of a cent. Fractions of a cent. And the transactions confirm in seconds, not minutes, not hours. Again, not to bash Bitcoin, but this is the reality. And for you to realize that when many of these new people start coming into the market, they will increasingly seek non-Bitcoin cryptocurrencies. They will want cryptos that are fast and cheap to move, to get on and off exchanges for trading, and cryptos that offer more potential for monetary gains. You can fight this if you want, but this is the reality of how investors are going to act. It's not just the peer-to-peer money niche either that is open for disruption. Alternative assets and networks are going to provide a whole wide different range of services across a broad spectrum of use cases that Bitcoin will simply never address. Things like decentralized finance, non-fungible tokens, decentralized exchanging, security tokens, governance, data, on and on and on down the list. All of these things are going to be brought to us thanks to altcoins, not to Bitcoin. Don't believe the maximalists out there who are telling you that Bitcoin in some distant future, decades away, will do everything, so don't invest in altcoins, right? It's crazy. Bitcoin won't, and it doesn't need to do these things. Bitcoin does what it does very well. It is digital gold. Altcoins, they're going to do everything else, and investors are going to see this, especially newer investors coming to the space. The lure of bigger gains and increased functionality is going to get a lot of investors into altcoins. The data already confirms it. Now it's just a question of watching it play out. I mean, let's just think about the traditional asset world here for a minute. Not many people only invest in gold. Most people buy gold and bonds and Tesla and Amazon and Ford, etc., etc. The same applies to crypto investing. Sure, some people only buy Bitcoin. Some people only buy gold too. But they are not the majority. They are the minority of investors. Now the Bitcoin halving has passed. I'm going to work on bringing out some more altcoin related content for you over the coming months, of course. But alt season is coming. There's going to be massive gains in the altcoin market for a variety of reasons. Anyway, your question for today. Do you think that new investors are going to start piling into altcoins and not Bitcoin as they enter the markets? And if so, is it because any of the reasons that I discussed here today? Or maybe you have another idea about why investors are going to be getting into altcoins? Or if you disagree, let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Hope you're having a freaking awesome day wherever you are, whatever you're doing out there in the wild, wild world. Thank you for popping in to spend 20 minutes with the Crypto Lark talking about cryptocurrencies on the internet. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.